Hey, what's up? It's Quattro. In this video, I'm going to be showcasing my MYP project. MYP stands for Middle Years Program, and it is the Middle Years Program of the IB program, and IB stands for International Baccalaureate. My final project was 4 art pieces, and I will take you along the journey of how I got to those final products. Phase 1. Options. At the beginning of my project, I had a lot of options of what I could draw. I knew I wanted to do a culture or cultures, but I wasn't sure which ones. I included things like the Han Chinese, Koreans, Jamaicans, Brazilians, people in Latin America, and many more. After a while, I slowly started canceling out the ones that I couldn't find very much information on. For example, the indigenous religions of Hawaii. I thought that would be really interesting to draw, but I couldn't find enough information. By the end of January 2021, I decided that my final project would be on Black, Jewish, Navajo, and Korean cultures. Phase 2. Research. At the beginning of the project, I allotted at least 1 hour of time per culture. Some cultures ended up taking 2 to 3 hours to research. For Black culture, I researched the origins in slavery as well as cultural revolutions in the 60s and 70s. On top of this, I also researched AAVE, or African American Vernacular English. For Korean culture, I researched different festivals and traditional dress, as well as the written language and the use of Hangul, which is a writing system that's used specifically for Korean. For Jewish culture, I did research on the many holidays including Passover, Hanukkah, and Yom Kippur, as well as B'nai Mitzvahs, and I did some research on the languages of Yiddish and Hebrew, as well as learning a little bit of the alphabet, which is the alphabet that those languages are written in. The last culture that I did research on was the Navajo people, which I had absolutely zero background information on going into the project. I learned about their different traditions and their clothing. Phase 3. Photos. It was now March of 2021 and I needed to find photos to use as references. For Black culture, in my reference images, some things that stood out to me were afros, large earrings, black power fists, black and white or extremely vibrant colored pictures, and hair braiding. For Jewish culture, the things that stood out to me were the Torah scrolls, kippahs, the Star of David, and the writing system of the alphabet. For the Navajo culture, some things that stood out to me were the mountains in the backgrounds of many of these photos, the use of horses, and the use of very bright greenish blue jewelry. For Korean culture, the things that stood out to me the most were the different types of handheld fans and the different kinds of hanbok. Phase 4. Composition. This part of the project was me finding a basic framework to do the rest of the project on. I was pretty proud of how these came out, and I wanted to incorporate as many elements from my research as I could into the final piece. Phase 5. Coloring. This phase has all of my completed drawings for the Black, Jewish, Navajo, and Korean cultures. Feel free to pause if you want to take a closer look. Phase 6. Review. In this phase of the project, I asked people from different cultures if these pictures accurately represented their culture or not. For Black culture, I was told that I could add things like nail culture, hair culture, hip-hop, rap, and R&B cultures into the picture. With Jewish culture, I was told that this is accurate for some types of Jewish people, but not for all. For example, not everyone celebrates Hanukkah who is Jewish. For the Navajo one, I wasn't able to contact anyone who is Navajo. However, if I could, I would like to talk to someone who maybe lives on the reservation or has a Navajo family history. With the Korean culture, I definitely feel like I could have added a lot more. I didn't get to talk to anyone about this one, but I know that it is lacking. Closing remarks. Thank you for sticking all the way to the end of this video. This project took a really long time to make, So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you have anything to add about the cultures, if there was something that you feel could have been added, if you feel something was misrepresented, please let me know. Anyways, this is Quattro signing out. Peace.